If your days are getting tactically harder, you are building a house of cards. You're not building a business, you're not building a future, and you're not building the life you want. I'm Alex Sharfin, and this is the Momentum Podcast, made for empire builders, game changers, trailblazers, shot takers, record breakers, world makers, and creators of all kinds. Those among us who can't turn it off and don't know why anyone would want to. We challenge complacency, destroy apathy, and we are obsessed with creating momentum so we can roll over bureaucracy and make our greatest contribution. Sure, we pay attention to their rules, but only so that we can bend them, break them, then rewrite them around our own will. We don't accept our destiny, we define it. We don't understand defeat because you only lose if you stop, and we don't know how. While the rest of the world strives for average and clings desperately to the status quo, we are the minority, the few, who are willing to hallucinate there could be a better future, and instead of just daydreaming of what could be, we endure the vulnerability and exposure it takes to make it real. We are the evolutionary hunters, clearly the most important people in the world, because entrepreneurs are the only source of consistent, positive human evolution, and we always will be. It's a little noisy today. I'm actually recording this podcast as I walk into a dinner that I'm going to see my friend John Morrow, and I'll tell you a little bit more about John in a second, but first, I want to go back to what I started with. If your days are getting tactically harder, you are building a house of cards. And here's what I mean by that. As entrepreneurs, we all tolerate way too much. You know, we have this thing in our head that tells us if something's got to be done, we should just jump in and do it. So as a result, you are probably doing way too much. You're probably doing too much in 3 different areas of your life. You're probably doing too much to support yourself, too much to support your household, and too much to support your business. And if you can examine those 3 areas of your life and start changing that, you will see radical changes in the level of success you have. And here's what's more important, the level of satisfaction you have in your life. When it comes to yourself, are you doing everything for yourself? Do you have someone who's helping you? And I always tell entrepreneurs, if you don't have an executive assistant, you are one. When it comes to your household, are you still cleaning and cooking and doing the dishes? And especially if you have kids, if you're taking care of everything, then chances are, you don't need me to tell you this, you're overwhelmed. And then when it comes to your business, do you have the help you need? Do you have the people in place who are helping you get things done so that on a daily basis, you don't have to be overwhelmed? Because here's the issue. As long as you're doing too much, you're not gonna be at maximum capacity in your business. You're not gonna be growing the business as fast as you possibly can. And here's why I'm talking about this tonight, and here's why I'm recording the podcast on the way into this dinner. I'm about to go see my friend John Morrow. Now, John has a multi-million-dollar company. He has a team of, I think, about 12 people in the business, and he has a team of 7 people who take care of him all day, every day. He runs Copyblogger. He's one of the best-known bloggers in the world. He's helped millions of people around the world grow and run businesses, and here's what makes John incredibly extraordinary. He's one of the greatest guys you'll ever meet. He's a biohacker. He's an incredible writer, an incredible copywriter, and a really intense friend to have. And on top of all that, he navigates the entire world with his face. His entire body is paralyzed. The only thing that works on John Morrow is his face. And so he runs his business, he navigates his life, he navigates the world in a wheelchair that he blows in and out through a straw to drive, and does everything with just his face. I remember when I shared this with my client, Molly Kaiser, who runs Booty Shorts. She, an agency that helps photographers become boudoir photographers, she said, you know, if John Morrow can run his business with just his voice, why can't I? And I ask you the same thing. If John can do it, which one of us can't? This woman just passed me. She was really super irritated that I was recording a podcast. It was super funny. She gave me a dirty look. It's funny. Every time I record a podcast, not every time, a lot of time when I do this out in public, I get dirty looks. It's like people get mad at me. But anyway, where was I? So when I told Molly Kaiser about John, she said, if John can run his business with his face, why can't I? And I remember thinking, exactly, all of us should look at it that way. Because here's what, unfortunately, most entrepreneurs do. We take on more, we allow our days to get harder, we don't get the help we need. When our team needs help, we jump in and do it, which paralyzes and handicaps them. When there's stuff to do at the house, we just jump in and do it, and we end up completely overwhelmed. And the fact is, if we're willing to admit that we need help and we're willing to start building the support around us that we need, we will do infinitely more. John's an incredible example of what's possible in the world when you're willing to admit your vulnerabilities and get out of your own way and get help, because he has to. The problem for most of us is we don't have to. We can jump in. We can keep doing it. We can be the person who tries to do it all. And as a result, that is what's really holding us back. So I'm standing out in front of the W Hotel here in Austin, and I'm excited to see my friend John, but I wanted to make sure that I checked in with you guys first and let you know that if your days are getting tactically harder, you are building a house of cards, and eventually houses of cards come down. So you have to make sure that every single day your life is getting easier. Insist your life gets easier. And today there are so many ways to do it. Heck, if you don't have the money to hire a team, start doing other things. You can use TaskRabbit, you can use Upwork, you can find people who can do things for you, get things off of your plate. Use Instacart to buy your groceries. Start having somebody do your laundry for you. There's so many different ways that you can get to the place where you're not overwhelmed and you're not doing everything yourself, because as an entrepreneur, you're probably doing way too much. If you're ready to change everything and get out of doing everything yourself, then go to billionairecode.com and fill out some questions for my team. You will get the results of exactly where you are on the Billionaire Code and what you should be focused on next, so that you can move your business forward, create momentum, and stop doing everything yourself. And if you'd like, you can set up a call with a member of my team. billionairecode.com.